Na 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 na. Leonie Dawson refused to be categorized the podcast. We're back with a brand new title track. Did you hear that? Gosh, that sounded so different, didn't it? Wow, zany, new. Who knows what'll be next episode? Na 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 na. That's what you come here for. The spontaneity. Leonie Dawson reviews is to be categorized. Yeah, woo, fireworks sounds. Hey, love beams. I found something interesting happening in my brain in that I have started thinking, no, I need to be more professional on the podcast. I don't know why, guys. I don't know. And that I need to really think shit out before I talk, blah, blah, blah. And then guess what happens? I don't record any podcasts. So it's going to be a case of done is better than perfect. I am just going to keep on trusting that the people who like me having random talk shit a lot are going to enjoy this podcast. And for people who want really polished podcasts that are already pre-written and pre-scripted, they're going to have to go elsewhere for every other fucking podcast out there. I do wish that in some ways I could just like make like Foley effects and sound effects, but who's stopping me? I can just make them myself. Yeah, fuck yeah. So, of course, there's an edition of Entrepreneur in Car Talking Shit. I've just been to the osteopath to get her to work on my back. I acquired a back injury again, because I did quite a bit of work last week and I wasn't paying attention to my posture, and so the bottom of my back is just like giving 2 fingers up at the moment. I definitely need to work on my posture more, and I also need to not work on the couch as much. So I just ordered one of those, those saddle stools. I probably will hate it, and as like my husband's like, that's fine, order whatever you want, just know that you've ordered a lot of shit now. And I have, it's true. I bought a fucking treadmill desk and one of those fucking convoluted standing desks that are motorized and go up and down. And I mean, he's the poor bastard that like has to put them together and then pull them down, we move them and maneuver them around and then find new homes for them when I inevitably decide that I fucking hate them and that I just end up back on the couch anyway. So he was like, well, at least a saddle stool is reasonably small and easy to put together, and there's low risk on that one, honey. Sure, why not? Bless him. 20 years of putting up with this one who has tried out all manner of things to help her. But apart from, actually using good posture and making sure I use a desk when I work. Tricky. Anyway, osteopaths will get that all sorted for me, hooray. And my reading challenge this month is going fucking great guns. I don't feel like there's a huge amount to report because I don't want to overload myself with reading, because I don't want to I want to try and keep it simple and not feel like I need to do anything new and crazy. And instead I just need these daily non-negotiable habits of my kids read to me for 20 minutes each. I read to them for 20 minutes at least. And especially during these holidays, they also do a lesson from Reading Eggs or Reading Express, which is a popular kind of literacy program here in Australia. And it's really paying off. Like I can already tell an enormous difference in my kids reading, and my eldest, who could kind of take or leave books, loves like being read to, but doesn't necessarily pick up books herself. Because I've gotten her to do like those 20 minutes a day, she gets into a book and then she just doesn't stop. And so whereas she went through a big craze of graphic novels and read tons of those, but outside of that hasn't, really nailed through a bunch of books on the regular, especially, spontaneously of her own accord. And by just having this 20 minutes where she starts reading, she kind of gets obsessed and keeps on reading, and then can read for hours afterwards. And so much so, she's now read 12 chapter books in the space of a week, which is amazing, so cool. And so it's just made such a difference. And I can just tell she's kind of gotten really excited by reading. And then I'm also noticing with my younger kid, like, just through that daily repetition of reading readers together, she's really building up her sight word knowledge, and her fluency is much faster. And so in 20 minutes, she was reading kind of 5 reader books, and now, she's reading 10 or 12 reader books in the same amount of time. So, like, she's definitely, like, increasing that fluency, which is amazing. So, yeah, fucking hooray for this kind of reading intensive. I started reading The Famous Five by Enid Blyton to them because it was my favorite book when I was a kid, and they're excited by that. And then we mix it up, like some nights they don't want to read a chapter book that doesn't have any pictures. Of course not. Why would you? Because pictures are great. And so we just read a big handful of picture books instead. So I'm really fucking chuffed with myself for doing this challenge, and I totally wish that I had gotten onto this bandwagon so much sooner. I know I have done lots of stuff in the past and read lots of books to the kids and had them read to me lots, but it's like kind of beginning again and really instituting this non-negotiable, like, daily practice, which has been really useful. So yay team us, yay team us. What else? It's the last week of school holidays, so I've got a few things that I wanted to accomplish these school holidays. I had a bunch of DIY stuff that I wanted to do and help my big kids' room be set up, and so we did a DIY project on her desk, and we built a hutch for her desk as well, and we totally reorganized her wardrobe, and she's so excited by that. And we also went on a bit of an expedition to a stationery store and got her set up with a whole bunch of, like, kind of back to school stationery stuff. And it's kind of the suggestion of her teacher, because my eldest has had quite a significant illness. I mean, it wasn't life-threatening, thank fuck, but she was away from school for 3 weeks and 3 and a bit weeks, and she had a combination of a few things, including mesenteric adenitis, and which is inflammation of the lymph nodes in the stomach, and the poor love was just really unwell. And it's been 6 weeks now, and she's only just, like, actually, like, fully back to herself again after 6 weeks. It's been a really long haul, and her teacher suggested, because she's had 6 weeks off now, it might be nice for her to, like, kind of feel like it's back to school and get organised for back to school. So when she does go back to school, even though it's halfway through the school year, she'll be, like, fine form to feel organised and not feel behind and all that kind of stuff. So that'll be really cool. Both my kids have got really great teachers, which is super, super, super lucky. We are in a small independent school, and I am still really passionate about kids' education. We did Steiner schooling, we did homeschooling, and now we're in this other kind of alternative schooling, and I'm still just so grateful that I've continued to, like, find ways that help my kids thrive, because both my kids really love school and really love learning, and I want to keep it that way. And I also want them to feel like they can kind of be their full selves at school, like there's not any really that they kind of have a good grasp on bullying and that kind of stuff. So hooray for that. So we also, what are we doing this week? Oh, so like before we would get to school, we want to, my kids want to catch up with their friends. So I go to a picnic tomorrow so my youngest can see her friends, and then the day after we're going to a horse workshop, and my eldest has a friend that's going to come with us for that, so that'll be fun too. And then we'll go pop up and see my in-laws who live a couple of hours away, and just have a think about how we want to set ourselves up for the next term as well. We really want to make sure that we've got some really healthy lunch ideas going on, because you know how we all start off with like big aspirations, and then like it just starts, you kind of, you fall into a routine. So my kids love eating pasta for lunch, awesome, but I want to make sure how they can add in like more vegetables and salad and more fiber and all that kind of stuff into their diets. So I think this week as well, we're going to try out some new recipes. Me and my eldest kid went through some recipe books today, just looking for some inspiration, and we ended up making some spelt pie crust mixed with plain flour as well, because I find that when it's just, I've got some wholemeal spelt, and the wholemeal spelt's just a bit too fucking gritty, if you know what I mean. So I mixed it with some white flour just to cut it a little bit, you know what I mean? Just to give it a good cut. And we made some really nice spelt tarts with like apple and cinnamon and pear and strawberries in it, and they were fucking scrummy. So we've looked through, we've got some ideas for other things, so we want to like test bake this week to see what they might like to take for school. All right, I am now home. I've brought some Thai home for my family. Look at me, I'm a hunter-gatherer. I went to a takeaway shop. I am Martha Stewart. But I'm groovy, and I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad to be with you all. And this week as well, I will likely, if I get the time, finish my big review post of the last month, June review, and do a podcast about that as well, so you can keep your eyes puzzled for that. But there we go. I just wanted to share with you where I'm at, my loves, and I'm thinking of all, and just wishing you so many blessings now and always. Bye.